This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Bo Limmer got Offensive Lineman of the Week. Just wondered what you thought about the game he played, and really, I guess he had the hand injury earlier, but just what you thought about the season he's had there at a new spot.
Yeah, I think the center position has helped him. It certainly helped us. I think it took a little bit for him to get acclimated to it, but he played a really physical game the other day. He's comfortable in the offense that we ran, and I thought he played his most aggressive game. I think it's going to help him in the NFL as well.
And, the O-line, they've taken a lot of criticism, maybe some justified, some not. But, Bo said he understands that comes with territory in an SEC team. How do you think, maybe an older guy like Bo and maybe the guys in general have handled all that?
Well, I think they've handled it well. I mean, they want to play well, and if you have 300-yard passer, the quarterback's great. If you have a 150-yard passer, the line sucks. If you got a 150-yard rusher, the line's, the running back's great. And if you rush for 75, the line sucks. I mean, that's just part of being an offensive lineman, and for that matter, being an offensive line coach. But it is the greatest position, in my opinion, to coach and to play. It just comes with the territory. I think they've handled it well.
And then one more, everybody talks about the tempo helping KJ, and obviously it did. But what do you think that did for the offensive line, the change to Kenny and some of the things you guys, went back to doing?
Yeah, I think having backup, we talked about it maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, but having somebody back you up. In other words, a guy, they twist and he goes behind you, and having somebody there to pick him up. Getting out of man schemes. You got to be, in my opinion, you got to be a better offensive lineman just if you're hey, I'm going to whip you by myself. And that's not necessarily what offensive line play is about. It's about me and you are going to whip him by ourselves. And then one of us is going to go up to the second level. But we didn't have a lot of backup in our game plan before. And certainly having that backup allows them to play faster, more physical. And I think it helped them.
Thanks.
Jackson.
Hey, Sam, I'm just wondering, has maybe KJ had a little bit of impact or just a louder voice with offensive game planning, with Kenny compared to maybe before his promotion or even in years past?
I think he likes what he likes and doesn't what he does. I think there's something to that. He never has been a huge guy in, hey, I like this, several things. But he certainly has his say-so on about 5 or 6 concepts that he really likes, and that's what we try to run.
Okay. And just curious if, the injury to Ty, on top of Luke, does that maybe force or motivate you guys to play some more 4 wide receiver sets, some more spread stuff like that? It felt like when you did go to that against Florida, you had some success with those formations.
Yeah, it's certainly obviously in our game plan this week as well. We do believe in the other tight ends. I think Gums and Bax and Sherman have all had a good week. And I think Gums has played his most physical ball Saturday and certainly this week. But you want to put your best talent on the field as much as you possibly can. Now, there's obviously some runs you can't run without a tight end on the field, but doesn't mean you can't have a running game. But then you're talking about it going into a little bit more man schemes, and I don't know that we're real comfortable with that right now.
Thank you.
Tom.
Hey, Sam, is this the part of the year where you take a little bit off of them, so to speak, practices a little bit shorter, or where are you in that scheme?
Well, I still think we're trying to learn everything offensively. So to be perfectly honest with you, today, this is kind of our second half. last 4 weeks where we'll go half the practice in pads and half the practice in spiders, which we don't do early in the year, and then tomorrow will be all spiders, which this year we have done. My first 2 years we didn't go all spiders until on Thursday until after the bye week, but we're seeming to have less physical injuries. And I mean, I know concussions are physical as well, but you know what I mean, less bone breaks and ankle turns and all that kind of stuff. And for that matter, concussions as well, going to this style. To be perfectly honest with you, halfway through Wednesday's practice, I want to know who we're going to play with. And you can kind of, in spiders, you can kind of get a feel, okay, we got them, this is who we have and things of that nature. So I like that part about it as well.
The opportunity that presents itself to you guys, 3 home games to finish out the year. And maybe what's your take on heading into this stretch with a chance to get bowl eligible?
Yeah, I haven't talked about that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I know they know, and I don't want if a hiccup came up on us, I don't want them to feel like the only goal that we have left is the bowl. You know what I mean? So I think we're talking about winning just on Saturday, just win the Saturday. If we get to, if we can get lucky enough to get to Missouri with a chance to win that game to go to the bowl, we'll certainly talk about it then. But the motivation right now is to play our best football. Don't worry about the opponent, and see if we can't go out and play our best football. And if we do, we'll have an opportunity to win any of our games.
I got to think this is a big deal for Travis going up against the school he played for and coached at.
Yeah.
Do you get any sense from him that he's jacked up to do something this week?
I haven't sat down and spoke with him specifically about that, because I know you can tell. I mean, he's major motivated to do well. We haven't talked to the kids about it yet, but it's like anything. When we played Georgia, and I came from Georgia, I wanted to do well. Not that I had any animosity. Shoot, I got the head coaching job at Arkansas from Coach Smart, but you want to do well, and I'm sure that's what he wants. Marcus Woodson as well. I think he was over at Auburn.
I can't help but think that Kenny came into the locker room and everybody was really focused on celebrating Kenny, and then maybe it switches over to the Travis thing. If you guys can win this one, maybe this is a Travis Williams kind of game.
Certainly would be awesome to find out, wouldn't it?
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Trey.
Yeah, Coach. I was looking at the participation report, and you guys have played 6 freshmen who've played 4 or more games already, or 5 games. Ian Jafar's played 4, and he's the only guy that could possibly, I guess, burn his red shirt.
Who's that, Trey?
Jafar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got him with 4. What does it say about just this new landscape of college football with being able to bring in so many immediate impact players? And because it used to be like you play like half your freshmen usually and redshirt the other half, but it's just a lot different now.
Well, it is, and to be honest with you, it's the cards everybody's dealt with, But I believe that you got to develop your program through young guys and all that. And obviously if you're playing each week and they're playing with older guys and you're trying to develop, then at times you run into, losing, and waiting to develop and all that times. And in this college landscape, a lot of times you don't have time to do that, but I think it's 2-part. I think, yes, exactly what you're saying is 100% correct. And then the way you recruit has certainly changed. You know what I mean? So you may play half your team, Trey, with 6 guys because you only signed 12 high school kids. You know what I mean? So it's truly changed. I don't think necessarily for the better, but we obviously have to adapt because we don't want to be in this situation ever again. And so we'll have to adapt to that a little bit.
think there might have been at least some interest on your guys' end with Ron Roberts, who's at Auburn now, defensive coordinator. Yeah. Just comes from Delta State. I don't know what it is about Delta State. It's just like a weird, great coaching tree out of there. But what are your thoughts about him and his philosophy and what you guys can expect to see Saturday?
Well, very aggressive. They're going to be hard-nosed. I mean, that's what kind of coach he is. Did a really great job at Baylor. I know at the end, whatever happened. But, I mean, you know, they had some really good years with Ron as the coordinator. Have a high respect for him. But he's going to bring a level of they're going to play physical. You can see it on tape and be very, very sound and very, very well coached. And, you know, he's been in a long time. When I was wanted to talk to him, I called a lot of people, and he's highly respected in the coaching ranks.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach.
Yes, Sam, with this past Saturday being Rocket's first game back, just how do you feel like he handled the workload that y'all gave him, and how has he responded physically in the days since that game, health-wise and everything?
Yeah, I mean, we're still watching him rep-wise in practice. You know, just we don't want that knee swelling up and those. We want him ready. I thought he really ran as hard as he ever has. You know, made a great run on the 10-yard play there in overtime, or 10-yard run on overtime. But we're watching him, which probably hurts him a little bit because we're not giving him the number of reps at practice that probably what he needs, because he was out at a lengthy period of time. But it certainly seemed to work out Saturday for him. And I think he's a little better this week than what he was going into the game last week.
And you mentioned on Monday and again earlier today about this past Saturday being Gums' most physical, performance and everything. Could that maybe carry over and lead to him being more involved in the passing game, like being what he did in the physicality aspect?
I think that's 100% great observation, because he's going to be on the field more. You know, if you're able to block and catch, you're going to have opportunities for more plays on the field. So I would assume that would be a fair and accurate statement.
Coach, going back to the tight ends, or just kind of feeding off what Andrew was talking about there, what does Shamar Easter need to do to maybe break into the rotation a little bit? And then just kind of behind, obviously not having Luke Has and Ty Washington, what's the overall health of the tight end room, or who's left, I guess?
Yeah, well, those three I talked about, with it being Gums and Bax and Sherman. We moved up Hunter Talley. And so he's a guy, and he knows the offense. I'm high on Maddox Lassiter. I'm high on Shamar Easter. Shamar, his only thing that's holding him back is just, he played a lot of wide receiver, so it would be the blocking aspect of his. And I don't think look, he got here late, or not. He wasn't an early guy. And we're tickled to death that we have him, and he's getting so much bigger and all those things. I think once he learns the offense a little bit better, and once he learns a little bit more about how to block, he's going to be a really, really good player for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Daniel.
So with Kenny being in the box, upstairs in the box, just who's kind of been that voice for the offense down on the sideline between drive to drive?
Well, Coach Kennedy handles a bunch of those guys with the tight ends. Obviously, Jimmy's down there. Jimmy's working that a little bit. Obviously, we have the wide receiver coach down there. But every time they come off, KJ and Kenny are on the headsets together, and talking along with myself a lot of the times. But the voices down there probably for the bigs, it would be Cody, and for the skill would be a little bit more with Coach Smith.
I assume Coach Guyton felt comfortable and he's going to remain in the box upstairs long term.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, he will. It worked out pretty good, so we'll see if we can duplicate it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.